Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are all doing really well. So here we are with another massive vintage book haul. I found some absolute treasures over the past couple of weeks that I've been out thrifting with my husband, and also I got a huge box of books from my very good friend. So we're gonna unbox a gift. We're gonna go through all of my vintage finds here today, so I hope you guys enjoy the video. Sorry I haven't posted for the past couple of weeks. It's actually felt like forever since I recorded anything, but getting back into the swing of things now, and you know, it wouldn't be my channel without at least one monthly book haul. So we're gonna get into it right now, and we're gonna start with the unboxing. So I guess this technically isn't a full unboxing because I've already opened this and gone through it, but it's gonna be the first time you guys see it. So I don't actually like fully unveil a package on the channel if I get one from friends, because I tend to get really emotional when people send me things. So I opened this about a week ago, and it's so good. I think you guys are going to be excited to see some of the books that are in here. I'm super excited to add these to the collection, and these were sent to me by my very good friend Kryptic Coil. And if you are not a member of his channel or you haven't watched him before, I'll leave all of his links down below. Very sweet person, and totally like metalhead into vintage horror. R.L. Stine, Christopher Pike, Lois Duncan, all of the things, and he's very sweet. So please go make sure that you follow him or check out his channel. And he reached out to me a couple of months ago and said, hey, I've got these books that I no longer need for my collection, would you like them? And of course I said yes. And you know, it always blows me away when people have generosity to send things from other countries, because you know, even the customs forms are really super annoying to fill out. It's incredibly expensive, and so I was super excited to get this. And of course I will have a boo box filled with Canadian treasures going back over the border. So getting right into this, there are a whole bunch of Fear Street that I needed for my collection. Some of them aren't in great condition, but I'm still really happy to even have any copies of some of these. So yeah, there's a couple of duplicates as well, but I always say yes to duplicates because other people might have better copies than what I have, or they have first editions that I don't. Sometimes, like, I do a lot of swapping, even if I go thrifting or whatever and I know I need a better copy of something, I'll definitely swap it out. So starting off, we have Halloween Party. So this is a Fear Street that I needed that I don't have, but I do have it on digital copy. It's on my Kindle, and I read it last Halloween. It was so good. This is actually a really great story. It's very much what I wanted Agatha Christie's Halloween Party to be. So if you haven't read this one yet, it's really good. It's super cute, has a lot of twists, and I really enjoyed this one from cover to cover. So really super happy to have a copy of this one for my actual physical collection. And this one is in great condition, so only just a couple of minor blemishes. So really happy to have this copy. And then next up, actually I should have started with this one. This is number 1 in the Fear Street series. So this is The New Girl. I read this one in, I think, 2022. It may have been early last year. I wanted to start reading the Fear Street novels in order, and of course started with this one. So I didn't have a copy of this. I actually had it as part of a bind up of the first 4 books. So really super excited to have this one, and this one is in great condition as well. And then next is Fear Street number 5, Wrong Number. So this is actually the next Fear Street that I should be reading if I'm reading them in publication order. So this is number 5. Like I said, I read the first 4 and then it kind of fell off a little bit, partly because I didn't have this one, and this one is in great condition as well. So this one says, it began as a prank and ended in murder. So I haven't read this Fear Street before, so super excited to dive into this one. And then next up we have First Date. So another one that I needed for the collection, and it says, that's when he always kills them. And this guy on the front here looks very sinister. I love some of the models that they use for these cover shots. It's super cheesy. This one is in great condition as well, so super excited to have that one. And then next, getting into a couple of more of the rare Fair Street. Now these ones are not in great condition, but I was happy to have any copy whatsoever because you don't always see these. So we have Fear Hall the Beginning and Fear Hall the Conclusion. So these I hardly ever see either out in the, well, I've never seen them in the wild, and they rarely show up online for a decent price. So like I said, not in great condition. They're kind of dinged up, they're stickers, there's some writing on them and stuff, but just to have any copies of these right now, I'm super excited to have them, because like I said, some of these are more of the rare ones, so I was just happy to put any of these on the shelf, and I'm super excited to read them because they're ones that people don't talk about a whole lot. So that's 2 out of the Fear Hall, and then we have 1 from the Fear Street Seniors. I don't have any of the Fear Street Seniors. I have never seen it out in the wild. I've never seen it like on Etsy sites that I frequent a lot. So this is really not great. The cover is completely torn. It has writing. It's all dinged up. So just the fact that I have any copy at all, and just to add on to it, that it was a friend who contributed to my collection, it's really important. And I'm going to be spending some time on the library this evening, and I'm super excited to add all of these Fear Street. I think, yeah, we've started kind of like a second Fear Street shelf because you know, my collection is getting up there, and I think I've got 71 or 72 Fear Street books now. So we're going to be starting another layer here pretty soon. So super excited to have at least one of the Fear Street Seniors to add to that shelf. And then we have Silent Night 3. So I haven't read any of the Silent Night books. I have 1 and 2, so this completes my trilogy. So super excited to have this. Of course, it's one of the super chillers. Not in fantastic condition, but it's not bad either. So that one will be going on the new shelf as well, or the new layer to my Fear Street shelf. And then we do have 1 duplicate. This is Truth or Dare, one of the kind of wintry themed ones. And it says, it started as a game and ended in death. So a lot of the little blurbs on the front are very similar. I mean, we all know R.L. Stine's books and kind of the way that they flow. So again, I always accept duplicates because I always compare to them to the copies that I have. My copies, a lot of them, you know, there might be creases in the covers or writing on the inside or whatever, and so I'm constantly swapping out copies. So I was excited for that. So that's the Fear Street out of that box. So now getting on to the items in this box that are not Fear Street, and some of these I've never even seen before, so super excited for these as well. First up, we have On the Edge, Stories at the Brink. This is edited by Lois Duncan. So this is a hardcover book. So I've never ever seen or heard of this one before. It is an ex-library book, and I love how it still has the little library space in the front for the card, and it looks like the last time this was signed out was 2009. So that provides a little bit of history for this book. And so it has a foreword in there from Lois Duncan, so obviously it's a book of short stories. So like I said, I don't know anything about this. It has, you know, about a dozen or so authors in there. None of them look very familiar to me, but it says, this collection provides a bite of yummy suspense to suit nearly everyone's tastes, and it is a teen fiction as well. So something that I've never seen before. It's really exciting to me. I had no idea that Lois Duncan had edited anything related to short story collections, so I was super excited to see that one. And then next, this is one that I actually did want for my collection. This is Blitzcat by Robert Westall. So really excited to put this one on the Point Horror shelf. This is actually a Point Horror book. And it says on the back, England's Last Stand. So this looks to be war related. I mean, obviously it's called Blitzcat, so you would think that it would be. And yeah, it says the Blitz, the firebombing of Coventry, England, bloody England. So I don't want to get into too much synopses because this is a very large haul, but I've seen this one around and I love the cover of it. And of course it has that wonderfully embossed lettering that we love with the Point Horror books. So excited to have that one finally for the collection. And then this one, I love the cover on this one. It's not one that I knew about. It's called Trapped in Death Cave. by Bill Wallace, author of A Dog Called Kitty, and it's kind of like a treasure hunt. It says a cursed treasure. So I love the cover on this. It has like a skull and a snake down in the forefront here. So it looks like it would be a great little adventure, and it's not very long at all. So it looks like this one is 1985, so not quite all the way back to the birthday shelf, but still nonetheless really excited to have this one. And then we have A Twisted Ladder by Rhodey Hawk, and again, not one that I've heard anything about. So this is really exciting because, you know, when I get a box of books that have ones in there that I don't know anything about, it, you know, it just opens up a whole new world. So this one has like a really creepy kind of manor house or something on the front of it. And it says, eerie and evocative, The Twisted Ladder provides scares and surprises galore. And don't know anything about this author either. So if you know anything about this book, please let me know. The text is a little bit tiny. I'm hoping that I'll be able to get through it or find it in digital copy. But this particular one is great. There's no spine creases. It is a tour book. So this one is not vintage at all. This one is 2009, 2010. But love the cover on it and excited to see what this is all about. So anything with kind of like that creepy sort of house on the front, I'm totally going to be into it, as you guys know. And then next up, I don't have a whole lot of these books. I have a couple, but it is Dead Time Stories. So this is Invasion of the Appleheads. And I have a few, but I've never actually read any of the Dead Time Stories. So this is going to be going on that shelf. And, you know, I like picking up these short little books, especially if I'm really slumpy, which I have been. So books like this is probably going to be something that I'm going to be picking up over the next little while. And then we have a V.C. Andrews. So I only have, I think, one other V.C. Andrews book on my shelves. So I was happy to expand that collection. So this is called Into the Darkness, and it is a hardback. It says, despite the brilliant sunshine, I felt a chill surge through me. I paused and looked at the house next door. Was Braden just another one of my fantasies? So, of course, I mean, we all know V.C. Andrews writing. But like I said, I'm really happy to add to that particular collection because my adult horror collection is very tiny. So definitely want to be adding to that. And I'm so excited to have another package of books from a fellow booktuber slash friend that, you know, it's providing lots and lots of good energies to my library. So like I said, I'm specifically doing this haul so I can again readjust the library tonight and tomorrow. And again, special thank you to Kryptic Coil for taking the time and the energy to put that together, and you know how much it costs and everything that you have to go through with filling out customs and all of that kind of stuff. It really means so much. So I'm always super emotional, like I said, when I get boxes, so I don't open them on the channel. I just kind of share it afterwards and just keep that moment special for me. So again, I'll have all of his information linked down below if you wanted to go give him a follow or check out his channel. Very much the same vibe as here, you know, all of the vintage things. So I'm going to clean up a little bit and then we'll get into the rest of the haul of the books that I found out thrifting over the past couple of weeks. Okay, here we go. I've done a little bit of reorganizing. There's so many books down here. So I had such great luck over the past couple of weeks out at the thrift stores. I have children's YA middle grade series that I am collecting, and then I have some adult horror and some middle grade and YA horror as well. And of course there's Sweet Valley and Babysitters Club and all the things that we all love. So I'm going to go through the non-horror first, and then I'm going to go through the horror section, so leaving the best for last, but also going to try to make this fairly quick because this is a huge haul and I don't want to spend too long on each and every single one of these books. So jumping right in here, I have 3 out of the Road to Avan Le series. So most of you know that I've been collecting these for a little while. I'd say probably about a year or so. I do have to check and see how many books are in the series because I'm not sure if there is a novelization that is for every single episode because the show is actually on for quite a while. So if you don't know anything about this, it is a spin-off Canadian series from Sullivan Entertainment, who also owns the rights to the Anne of Green Gables miniseries from back in the 80s. And this was probably my favorite show as a kid. It's really heartwarming, and it, you know, it's set back in the olden days and all of the feel-good things. So I have book number 2, The Story Girl Earns Her Name. So Sarah Stanley, who is known as the Story Girl, is a character in the Anne of Green Gables series, and she is the central character of this spin-off. So I was super excited to have this one for the collection finally. And then we have number 4, so skipping over number 3, we have number 4, and this is The Materializing of Duncan McTavish, and this is one of my favorite episodes because it has a lot to do with Marilla Cuthbert, who has kind of like more of a minor role in the series, so I really enjoy this one too. And then we have number 5, Quarantine at Alexander Abraham's. So this is when a whole bunch of the townsfolk end up contracting, I think it's influenza, and they're all quarantined at this one man's house. And of course Rachel Lynde, who is the biggest busybody of all of them, is, you know, causing all kinds of havoc. So these are really, really cute, and they have stills on the inside from the actual show. So these are in really, really great condition. They're not that easy to find. I can get them on eBay, sometimes on Etsy, but out in the wild they're really rare. I think this is only the second time I've come across them, so super, super excited for those. As it comes to the Babysitters Club, there were a couple of books that I got that I've already swapped out for ones in my collection. Some of my older copies had creases up them or whatever. So this is number 30, Marianne and the Great Romance, and it says, "It's Marianne and Don's dream come true." So you can see there on the cover. And this one is fantastic. I got it for super, super cheap. Sometimes when you go into the thrift stores here, their prices are really out of whack. And so I think this one was only about $1.50, and it's in great condition. It's starting to get harder and harder to find these vintage series where they're not all banged up, of course, because they're so old. You know, these came out in the 80s and 90s. So, and the other thing that I'll just mention quickly is for my collection, I try to stay away from the alternative covers and just get the ones that are the originals. And then we have a couple of Sweet Valleys. So we have Sweet Valley Twins and Friends, Super Edition number 1. This is the class trip. So this one is in fantastic condition as well. So I have a whole bunch in my collection that need to be swapped out, but this is one that I actually didn't have. And then we have another super edition. This is just the regular Sweet Valley Twins, The Big Camp Secret. So this sounds like something that I would love to sit down and read during the summertime. And then we have Sweet Valley Twins and Friends, The Magic Christmas. So is this a die cut cover? No, it's not. It's not a die cut cover, but we do have the girls on the inside here. So I hadn't seen this one before out in the wild, so I grabbed it right away. So that's kind of funny. It doesn't actually have a number, because usually with the super editions and stuff, they have several of them, but this one doesn't have a series number. But super, super excited to find that one. And the other ones as well, because these ones I didn't have at all for the collection. And then I was super excited to find another Screech Owls. So this is a Canadian series, cheesy middle grade series based on this hockey team in Canada called the Screech Owls, and they go on all kinds of adventures. This is the Screech Owls Home Loss, number 8, and I don't even know why I started collecting these. I really don't. But it looks super cute, super cheesy. And you know, I really like to collect cheesy Canadian fiction, you know, no matter what it's about. So I have this collection going. I have quite a few of these now, actually, so I was super excited to get that one. And then I found a whole slew in the Sweet Dreams series. And so if you know nothing about the Sweet Dreams series, they're really cheesy. They're kind of romancy sort of YA books. But what gets me about these is always the covers. They have the greatest cover art, and everybody always looks like they're in a Sears catalog. So I'll just go through these really quickly. We have number 28, Trusting Hearts, 31, Too Close for Comfort, 44, Long Distance Love, 71, Too Many Boys, and number 72, Goodbye Forever. So you guys can see, like, they have the cheesiest covers of, you know, some of any of the vintage series. So I actually haven't read any of these. Maybe I'll do a reading vlog where I pick up a few of these and see just how cheesy they are. But for right now, my collection is actually getting, you know, fairly large. So I was super, super excited to find them, and the covers always make me laugh. And sticking with the YA kind of romancy, contemporary sort of things, we have another point book. So this is out of the Lovey Heart series. And these are by Ellen Crawford, and this is Dear Lovey Heart, I'm Desperate. I have another one of these actually on the shelf, but it's my only one. So I was super, super excited to find this one. And then just, I mean, you can't get much better. I'd never even heard about this before, but just look at those two. That's fantastic. So this just says YA novel. I don't think it's part of a series, it's a standalone, but it says, cute is a 4-letter word. Being cute may be harder than it looks. Yes, it must be. My goodness. Winner of the Carl Sandburg Award. So I had never seen anything like this before. I thought it was, I laughed when I was standing there. I thought it was super cheesy, and this is from 1981. Not quite for the birthday shelf, but super, super cheesy and cute. So I can't wait to get into reading that one. And sticking with the cheerleader theme, we have number 21 in the cheerleader series. I was so super excited to see this out in the wild. It's the first one I've ever seen out in the wild. I do collect this series. Haven't read any of them yet, but it's fairly large. So they have lots and lots of adventures together. So, you know, I mean, it goes right up there with the cheesy covers. So that's great. And it says, it's a whole new squad. Can they make it? And then I finally broke down and got this one. So this is Cheerleader Super Edition, Together Again. And look at those guys. All of the 80s and 90s fun. And I got this one from my friend Marissa at Spooky Sellables. I am an ambassador for her shop. She's able to find way more than what I could out in the wild. So if you would like to support Marissa, I'll have all of her links down below. And if you want to shop her Etsy site, you can use code Sagewood15 for 15% off your order. This is another one that I hadn't heard about before. So we had a great time last weekend because I was discovering new books, new authors, new series, all of the things. So this is the Sherwood Ring by Elizabeth Marie Poe. And it says, sometimes the past really can come to life. And it says, Peggy never thought that a ghost would teach her about love. So this one, it looks like it has 1958 as the original copyright date. And then this particular one was published by Puffin in 1992. I mean, it's still pretty great for a book that came out in 1992. So this one sounds like it would be a good standalone adventure. You know, it has the spooky vibes that I'm going for. And so I grabbed this one for the shelf. And then another series that I haven't personally started collecting. I've heard of this before, but didn't know a whole lot about it. So this is Carly & Co. So have any of you guys heard about this one before? By Mel Sebulash. So it says, a stolen bike leads Carly and Sandy on a dangerous trail to catch a campus drug pusher. My goodness. So these ones are very much like a Nancy Drew Hardy Boys type, you know, young sleuths trying to solve mysteries. So like I said, I've heard of these before, but I don't know much about them. It doesn't have a number on it. But I honestly think this one must be the first one in the series because it says, in their first caper, Carly and Sandy are spending a typical afternoon at the mall until someone steals Sandy's bike. Oh my God. So this sounds like it's going to be a lot of cheesy fun. Let me know if you know anything about this book. I, like I said, heard about it, never seen it before, so I grabbed it. It's in great condition, so this one's going to be going up on the YA shelf. And then sticking with the YA and middle grade, these are mostly standalones, but I did pick up this one. This is a point book, and this is the third in the Chanters of Chis trilogy. So this is a fantasy, a point fantasy book. And I'm not going to read anything off the back because I don't want to give anything away from the first two books. But it sounds really good. The cover art on it was really nice. It was in great condition. It was like $1.99. So I figured, why not? I'll pick it up and hopefully I can find the other two in this. So if you know anything about this, let me know. So apparently this is Tremaris. And this one is the first printing from 2005. So not quite vintage. Vintage we usually say about 20 years, but we're getting there. So if you know anything about this one, let me know. I don't own a whole lot of fantasy. I don't read a whole lot of fantasy, but this one sounded particularly good, and I'm always looking for a point to put up on the shelf. And then this one, I was excited to find this. This is Shadow in Hawthorne Bay by Janet Lunn. So Janet Lunn also is the author of The Root Cellar, which is another book that I adored when I was a kid. I do have a copy of it here. I might pick it up maybe sometime during the summer, and it just kind of has those sort of vibes. And she's a fantastic writer. I haven't read any other books by her. This is a book of the year from the Canadian Library Association for Children, which sounds really cool. And it says in the back here, "You will make your voyage, but it will bring sorrow and many trials." Mrs. Grant paused and warned Mary, "The dark holds grave danger for you. Beware of the dark." So this sounds like kind of a spooky light. Let's call it spooky light thriller. And like I said, I love Janet Lunn's writing, and I was actually talking to my mom about this book because she's a retired teacher, and she said Janet Lunn was actually on lists of, children's books that are really good. They usually have like history and life lessons and all of that sort of thing wound in here. So I was excited to pick this up. I do want to reread The Root Cellar and then maybe this one after, because her writing is fantastic. So if you've ever read any of Janet Lunn's writing, let me know. She is a Canadian author, so I don't know how readily available her writing is in the States, but I'll definitely let you guys know how this one goes. And then I found these two. So these are children's books, not from the same series, but very, very similar. So the first one is Grandma's Attic Stories, More Stories from Grandma's Attic by Arletta Richardson. So this just looked really, really super cute. It looks very adventurous. And so I picked it up to throw it on the shelf. What's this? Oh, treasures. Okay, so we found a treasure on the inside of this book, and creepy dolls. This is a postcard, and it says Hobby City Doll and Toy Museum, 1238 South Beach Boulevard in Anaheim, California. So there you go. It's not Fatty Patty, but it's a postcard with creepy dolls on the inside of More Stories from Grandma's Attic. So we found a treasure, not in Grandma's attic, but inside a paperback. So, I mean, that's pretty cool. I'm going to keep this and put it in I do actually have like a scrapbook that I'm putting together with things that I find inside books. So there's that one. And then we have, so this is from the Mandy series. Don't know anything about this, but it looks really, really cute. So this is book 4, Mandy and the Forbidden Attic by Lois Gladys Leopard. So look at that. Isn't that cute? Really, really super tiny. It was really cheap. I think I paid a little more than $1 for this. So I think this, oh, and it has an oil lamp on the front. I don't know if you guys know about my obsession with oil lamps, but this is just everything that I would have loved as a child. I loved anything that was olden days, oil lamps, candles, spinning wheels, all of those types of things. So this looks really, really cute. And it says, share another adventure with Mandy and her friends, and I will. So probably something else that I'll pick up during the summertime. And then this one was really interesting to find. So this is a Caroline B. Cooney book, but nothing to do with like point horror or thrillers or anything like that. So it says best-selling author of The Face on the Milk Carton, which of course a lot of us know her from The Face on the Milk Carton. That's the first Caroline B. Cooney book that I ever read when I was a kid. And this one is The Ransom of Mercy Carter. And I don't know anything about this. I just picked it up simply because it was Caroline B. Cooney. She's a fantastic writer. So I was excited to have this on the shelf. If you guys know anything about this book, let me know. And then last in the non-horror section, we have these two books by Kit Pearson. So a couple of weeks ago, I found Looking at the Moon by Kit Pearson, which was part of the Sky is Falling trilogy. So I did find The Sky is Falling, which is funny that this showed up like a week after I found the other one. So this is book 1 in the series. The other one is book 2. So really, really super excited to have this one because I really do want to reread these. And it's about 2 British kids that come to Canada during World War II and have to resettle and figure out their life and stuff like that. So really, really heartwarming book. There's a lot of history and stuff like that that's tied in. And of course, it's based on like you know, actual historical events. So super, super excited to have that one. And this one I don't know anything about. This is The Daring Game by Kit Pearson as well. So I happened to just grab this one because I enjoy this author. Don't know anything about it, and it very much has like a boarding school vibe to it, so that's all I needed to know, that it was a boarding school book. So throwing this one on the shelf with the rest of the Kit Pearson books that I found. Okay, getting into the horror, and I'm gonna wrap up this video because it's been so long. So we have a couple of Goosebumps Horrorland books. So these ones, you know, I don't spend a whole lot of money on them. I don't really seek them out, but if I can find them for a good price, I will snag them. I haven't read any of the Horrorland books, actually. So we do have number 1, Revenge of the Living Dummy, number 3, Monster Blood for Breakfast, and number 8, Say Cheese and Die Screaming. So of course these are kind of redos, I guess, or spin-offs of the original series. And then finishing out the YA horror section, these ones aren't vintage, so the only books in here that are not part of the vintage collection, but I grabbed them anyways. So we have 3 out of the Haunted series by Joel A. Sutherland. So these are Scholastic Canada books. So we have The House Next Door, Kill Screen, and Field of Screams. So I've had those ones on my wish list for a little while, and I've seen a couple of other booktubers read them, and they said they were pretty good. So I went ahead and picked them up because they were at a decent price. So just grab them anyway, and I'll throw them on the shelf. Really super short. So fantastic for, you know, like I said, in times when I'm slumpy. And we do have one for the ghosty shelf. So this is Ghostly Campfire Stories of Western Canada by Barbara Smith. And she writes a lot of the Canadian sort of ghosty books. I have a lot by her. Really super short. So these, of course, are going to be like, you know, folklore-y kind of tales, and I think it's going to be right up my alley. So new one for the ghosty shelf. So I'm just going to clear away a little bit, and then I'll show you the adult horror. So just 3 adult horror books going up on the shelf this time around. So we have the Boer Trust, and it was the cover that first kind of called me to this book, and it says murder, fraud, blackmail. So this one is kind of like a murder mystery or murder, death, kill, whatever you want to call it. But I love the look of the skull in the key here, and it is all embossed on the front. So haven't heard anything about this book, and it is a first printing from 1988. And so this one is in fantastic condition and going to go up on the adult horror shelf. And then I have another Michael Slade. So I do have Headhunter up on the shelf, and this one is Primal Scream. So I haven't read any Michael Slade yet. Heard a lot about this one and the other one. So if you know anything about these, let me know. It seems like the text is not too bad. Sometimes these older books, the text is super tiny. So happy to have that one finally for the shelf to go along with the other one. And then last but not least, we have a Robert McCammon. So a lot of you know I read my first Robert McCammon book last year. It was Ball, and I absolutely loved it. And Robert McCammon is Kelsey's favorite author, Kelsey from Slime and Slashers. And just to top it off, we have a lovely die cut cover. Love that. So this is in great condition, and it says, across a landscape of terror, a desperate mother battles a human monster to save her baby. So that's the last one going up on the adult horror shelf, and I'm hoping to find some more McCammon because I do want to read a lot more of him. His writing is fantastic. I really enjoyed the one book that I've read by him so far, and people keep telling me, you know, like, you've got to read him, like, he's just fantastic. So hopefully this one is as good as that one, and I do have another couple on my list for this year. So if you guys are still here, let's do a giveaway. I do have an extra couple of copies of Autumncrow High Fresh Hell. So I'm going to be giving away one on the channel and then one on my Patreon. So I do have a brand spanking new Patreon if anybody's interested in signing up. The link will be down below. And if you are a patron of mine, please feel free to enter in both places. So if you would like to enter, just leave a pumpkin icon down below because we're always thinking about Halloween on this channel. It is open internationally, so I'll have all of these terms and conditions listed down below as always. And the giveaway will stay open. let's give it a week. So it'll be open for a week. So if you guys want to enter, like I said, leave a pumpkin icon down below, and I will send out a copy with a couple of other things in there in the package as well. So good luck, everybody. Thank you so much for watching the video. If you liked it, please leave me a thumbs up, and also leave me a comment down below because you know I love chatting with you guys. But until next time, stay spooky, everybody. Bye.